Yi Fan, the doorstep son. In law of a cowardly and useless person, accidentally inherited the Tai Chi Classic and the Life and Death Stone. From then on, he began a different life. His medical skills saved beauty, and his martial arts killed enemies. Not only did he sweep away the contempt and ridicule of others, win the heart of his beloved wife, but he also stood at the peak of this world and looked down on the world. Keywords of the novel. Female CEO's doorstep son. In law with no pop-ups, female CEO's doorstep son. In law. Download the complete collection of TXT, female CEO's doorstep son. In law. Latest chapter reading. Chapter 1. Suffering from White Eyes. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Chapter 1. Suffering from White Eyes. Chapter 1. Suffering from white eyes. The hospital corridor is bustling with people coming and going. Yi Fan ignored it and squatted in the corner, crying loudly. Your mother's stomach tumor is malignant. If she doesn't undergo surgery for 100,000 yuan, she will only live for 1 month. The doctor's cold words pierced the heart like needles. But Yi Fan couldn't even afford the expensive cost. My adoptive father Yi Wu went missing on a boat 91 years ago, and my adoptive mother Shen Bichin fainted from a stomach tumor and was hospitalized. Yi Fan, who had just graduated, became the pillar of the family. This year, in order to treat his foster mother's illness, Yi Fan not only used up his family savings and borrowed all the online loans, but also went to the Tang family to become his son. In law. He worked hard in the Tang family, losing his dignity and only earning 500,000 yuan. But this money was quickly used up in the hospital. Yi Fan now has only 1 phone and 10 yuan left all over his body. Another 100,000, another 100,000. Thinking of the numbers mentioned by the doctor, Yi Fan felt a deep sense of despair. As he was in dire straits, where could he gather this 100,000? But he couldn't have watched his mother die. No, I must borrow 100,000 yuan. Yi Fan wiped his tears and gritted his teeth, standing up. I can't let my mother have anything to do, he said. He decided to spare his dignity to borrow money. Yi Fan arrived at the first house and knocked on uncle's house. Auntie opened the door with a stern face. Yi Fan desperately begged his aunt for a favor. Auntie, my mother needs money for surgery. Are you still asking for money? Are you still asking for money? Giving you 200 yuan is not enough, is it? Go, 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 don't come here. We don't have relatives like you who are greedy for money. Auntie pushed Yi Fan out while speaking, and then slammed the anti-theft door shut. Upon hearing these sharp and sarcastic words, Yi Fan trembled with anger and punched the wall. He knew that people were indifferent, but he didn't expect that the uncle who stole his father's ancestral house would refuse to lend a tenth to help. Yi Fan had no choice but to shamelessly borrow money from other relatives, but they were all turned off. They also warned Yi Fan not to harass again, otherwise he would immediately report to the police and arrest him. Then, the landlord also called, and if he didn't pay the rent within a week, he would clear Shen Bichin's room. Online lending companies have made desperate calls. Yi Fan bravely slapped Tang Ruoxue, who was traveling in the Maldives. Tang Ruoxue hung up the phone in extreme annoyance when she heard him asking for money. Mountains and rivers are at an end. After blowing the cold wind on the street for a while, Yi Fan wiped away his tears and arrived at the 0-degree bar. This is from his ex-girlfriend Yuan Jingkai. No, it's from his former roommate Huang Dongqiang, who borrowed 5 million yuan to fulfill Yuan Jing's dream. Of course, also because of this 5 million yuan, Yuan Jing left Yi Fan and fell into the embrace of Huang Dongqiang. With the gimmick of high and cold school flowers, this place is very popular in business and has become a gathering place for many wealthy second-generation people in China. Yi Fan also became a laughing stock. Although Yi Fan felt ashamed to come here, he could only walk into the 0-degree bar when he thought about his mother's surgical expenses. He also believed that Yuan Jing would borrow this 100,000 yuan from the past. Someone is playing guitar and singing in the bar, creating a lively and noble atmosphere. The perfume here makes Yi Fan feel inferior. Yi Fan walked into the hall and the whole room instantly fell silent. More than 10 men and women in Chinese clothing looked over. Yi Fan also looked at Huang Dongqiang and Yuan Jing. He saw a surge of energy and a strong sense of disdain in Huang Dongqiang's eyes, but did not see any sense of guilt. Yuan Jing was wearing a low-cut vest, revealing a pure white belly, and her lower body was a short hot pants that couldn't be any shorter. Her fair skin and 2 slender thighs, combined with her beautiful face, are very eye-catching. However, her cold and proud expression made many people dare not look at each other. She looked at Yi Fan without emotion, with an indifferent feeling as if she saw a dog on the street. Yuan Jing's best friend Yang Qianqian jumped off the high chair. Yi Fan, what are you doing here? The tone is disdainful. Yi Fan mustered the courage and said, I'm here. We don't need cleaners here. Yang Qianqian sneered and said, you go. She has always looked down upon the penniless Yi Fan, and it was precisely she who tried her best to match Yuan Jing and Huang Dongqiang. Yi Fan quickly waved his hand and explained, I'm not here to work as a cleaner, I'm here. 28 lemonade and 108 cocktails, can you afford them? Yang Qianqian sneered and said, even if you have pocket money donated by the Tang family, we still don't welcome you here. Huang Dongqiang let out a sigh and said, damn it, it's unlucky. I didn't read the almanac today and ended up colliding with the trash at the door. Yi Fan and Huang Dongqiang were already aware of the fact that he had arranged for someone to come and congratulate him as his son. Law. A dozen men and women laughed at the words. Yi Fan bravely stepped forward and watched as Yuan Jing was about to speak when a beautiful girl shouted again. Get off your dirty hands, leather sofa. She also waved her hand in front of her nose, as if Yi Fan had come out of a stinky ditch. Yi Fan withdrew his hand as if bitten by a snake, his face flushed and his ears flushed. He knew he would be humiliated, but he didn't expect to be so heartless. He gritted his teeth and blurted out, I'm here to find Yuan Jing. Yuan Jing, let's go out and talk. Yi Fan hopes to preserve the last bit of face. Yuan Jing's slender legs curled up, her fair toes flickering in the light, without sarcasm or movement, but this was precisely the greatest disgust. Huang Dongqiang's mouth curved with a hint of mockery. Yuan Jing is now my girlfriend, not just someone you want to find. He also demonstrated and rubbed Yuan Jing's leg. Yi Fan's cheeks burned and he said, Yuan Jing, I really have something to talk to you about. Let's go out and talk. Yuan Jing looked at Yi Fan without a response, just proud and indifferent, just like looking at a trivial ant. Get out of here, I feel nauseous when I see you. Yang Qianqian impatiently shouted, don't ruin our mood. Looking at Yuan Jing, who didn't even leave a fig leaf for himself, Yi Fan felt very disappointed and sad in his heart, but he still squeezed out a sentence. Yuan Jing, I want to borrow 100,000 from you. Yi Fan guarantees that. Don't worry, I will definitely return it to you. I can take your ID card and graduation certificate as collateral. 100,000. Yang Qianqian exaggerated and shouted. Yi Fan, do you want to borrow 100,000 yuan? Your whole body is not worth 100 yuan, how dare you borrow 100,000 yuan? Yi Fan looked at Yuan Jing and explained, my mother needs money for the surgery. I know it's abrupt, but I'm really waiting for help, please. He also took out his mother's medical records in the hope of moving Yuan Jing. Huang Dongqiang looked at him like an idiot. Your father went missing, your ancestral house was taken by your uncle. The house is now rented, and you are the son.in.law who came to your home. You haven't worked yet. What are you borrowing 100,000 yuan from? In the year since graduation, Yi Fan has been either busy with his mother's illness or taking care of the Tang family's meals, drinks, and activities, and has never found a job in a company. So now there is still one unemployed vagrant. After my mother's surgery is over, I will look for a job immediately, and I can definitely repay it. Yi Fan felt ashamed and wished he could turn around and run away, but at this point, he had to persevere. Yuan Jing, I beg you. My mother needs surgery and really needs this money. At this moment, Yi Fan felt humbly like a dog. Yang Qianqian sneered and said, "We're not your father. Your mother needs money for surgery, is it none of our business? Yuan Jing, could you give me a hand?" Yi Fan looked at Yuan Jing and pleaded, "Money, I will definitely repay you." Everyone looked at Yuan Jing. Yuan Jing looked at Yi Fan with a cold expression and spoke in a tone that was even colder than her, making Yi Fan feel cold. "Borrowing money from me. Don't you think it's ridiculous? Your mother's life and death, what does it have to do with me?" She sneered and said, "Do you think we still have old feelings between us? Don't be too sentimental. No white swan would care about a toad." Yi Fan looked at Yuan Jing with a surprised expression, unable to believe that she had spoken these words. "Our circle is not something you can enter. My Yuan Jing's money is not something you can borrow. I don't have any feelings for you. By the way, when I was dating you before, I fell ill. You gave me a piece of Tai Chi jade and said you would bless me with peace. Now, return this Tai Chi jade to you and take it to bless your mother's safety." Yuan Jing took out a piece of Tai Chi jade from the drawer under the table and threw it into Yi Fan's hand expressionlessly. "Let's go, don't come here again. It's not appropriate for you to appear at the 0-degree bar, it's causing a lot of trouble for me and Dongqiang and their team." Her voice was calm, without any domineering aura, but it pushed people underground, as if looking at a mole ant on the ground from the sky. To be a person, one must have self-awareness. Yang Qianqian pushed Yi Fan away and said, "Get lost, toad." Yi Fan looked hopeless. Huang Dongqiang suddenly spoke up, "I can lend you 100,000 yuan. Yi Fan's eyes lit up and his whole body was excited, "Really?" Huang Dongqiang smiled and pondered, "Kneel down." Yi Fan's blood surged throughout his body, with anger in his eyes, but he quickly regained his composure. Plush. Yi Fan knelt straight down. Knee pain, heart pain even more. But for the sake of his mother, Yi Fani did not hesitate. "Ha ha ha." Yang Qianqian and the others burst out laughing coquettishly, not expecting Yi Fan, who claimed to be the hardest bone, to kneel in front of them like this. Someone picked up their phone and filmed this scene. Yuan Jingyang's snow-white chin was as proud as a princess, with a stronger sense of disdain. A spineless man. Huang Dongqiang took a step to the bathroom, returned with a cup filled with yellow liquid, and then slapped it in front of Yi Fan. Kneeling down and drinking it. Huang Dongqiang threw out a bank card and said, "I'll lend you this 100,000 yuan. Looking at the glass of liquid, Yi Fan was momentarily taken aback and then became angry. "This is urine. You bastards." Yi Fan threw the cup over and said, "It's too deceiving." Yuan Jing and the others screamed incessantly, covered in chaos. Huang Dongqiang was furious and ordered, "Fuck him." Yi Fan turned around and ran. 7 or 8 young playboys rushed up. 2 fists are difficult to defeat 4 hands, and Yi Fan is quickly knocked down. He leaned against the wall, his hands tightly protecting his head. He had no sensation in his hands, just instinctively holding his head. My head was protected, but I couldn't protect anything else. After a few heavy punches, Yi Fan began to bleed. Yuan Jing and Yang Qianqian exclaimed in pleasure. In their eyes, Yi Fan's counterattack was considered a great rebellion, so it was purely their own fault that led to this outcome. A piece of trash. Huang Dongqiang stepped on Yi Fan's head with one foot. Bang! Yi Fan's hands holding his head finally loosened and he slid weakly along the wall to the ground. He passed out in a coma. A canopy of fresh blood flows out of the palm and seeps into the ancient Tai Chi jade, whoosh. The light flashed away in a flash. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Raising Eyes and Exhaling. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2 Raising Eyes and Exhaling. Chapter 2. Raising Eyes and Exhaling. I am a Tai Chi doctor immortal. From today on, you will be my successor, who has obtained my Tai Chi Sutra and Life and Death Jade, suspended a teapot to aid the world, and crossed people and crossed oneself. Yi Fan felt like he was in an ethereal void, accompanied by the sound of inheritance, with a huge amount of information flooding his mind. Martial arts, medical skills, mysterious needlework, cultivation techniques, and constant impact. When a piece of life and death jade surged into his palm, Yi Fan couldn't help but scream. Ah! Yi Fan woke up and found himself in the hospital with scars all over his body. He tried hard to recall that he had been beaten up and thrown out of the bar. The pain in the head also confirms this. But he still panicked and realized that the dream was still clear. Is the dream just now real? It's quite ridiculous. Yi Fan muttered, but when he closed his eyes, he was shocked. He really has a Tai Chi Classic in his mind. Can this dream be too real? Yi Fan still didn't believe it, so he opened the Tai Chi Classic and practiced according to the above method. As long as nothing is achieved through cultivation, then the Life and Death Jade and the Tai Chi Classic are a joke. But the fact left Yi Fan stunned again. In less than half an hour, he felt a small stream of heat emerging from the dantian. Then, the heat flowed through all four limbs. Wherever I passed, I felt extremely comfortable. At the same time, there is a faint Tai Chi diagram in the palm of his left hand. Life and Death Jade. White lives, black dies. There are 7 rays of light on each side. The shadows are very faint, but layers are distinct. Yi Fan thought he had accidentally stained the pattern and wiped his thigh with his wrist a few times, only to find that the Tai Chi diagram still existed. And it also started to rotate. The next second, a message suddenly came to Yi Fan's mind. Status. 13 abrasions, 3rd degree damage to the 5 organs, slight head concussion. Cause. Caused by violent group beating by others. Repair or destroy. Yi Fan was stunned on the spot. What is this? He instinctively issued a repair command and saw the Life and Death Jade rotate, followed by a white light entering Yi Fan's body. Pa. Then, there was an abnormal change in the body. The blood vessels were uncontrollably feverish, and then the whole body was scorching hot. Yi Fan felt that all the cells in his body were running, and they were running wildly in groups inside his body. The bones also crackled and clattered. Not long after, Yi Fan's body suddenly shook, and the pain throughout his body completely dissipated. The abrasions on his arms and face also healed. Meanwhile, the white light on the Tai Chi diagram dimmed a bit. This is a skilled repair technique. Yi Fan became excited. They repaired antique calligraphy and paintings, but his Life and Death Jade could repair physical illnesses. It seems that everything in the dream is true. This is truly a gift from heaven. Yi Fan quickly got up from the hospital bed and rushed to the inpatient department as quickly as possible. He pushed open the door of his mother Shenbichin's room. Looking at his mother, who was as thin as wood and her eyes tightly closed, Yi Fan rushed over and placed his left hand in her stomach. Status. Anemia, myocardial strain, gallstones, gastric tumor malignancy. Cause. Years of hard work, improper diet, and erosion caused by wind and cold. Repair or destroy. Yi Fan blurted out, fix it. The Life and Death Jade moved again, and 5 white lights flooded into Shenbichin's body. My mother's body instantly became a battlefield, with countless cells boiling and rushing, as if thousands of soldiers and horses were fighting and charging forward. Bang! Not long after, Shenbichin's head shook. Yi Fan instinctively shouted, Mom! Shen Biqin slowly opened her eyes, her pale face adding a touch of redness. Yi Fan, I'm hungry. Yi Fan wept with joy. He withdrew his left hand and found that there was only one white on left in the life and death jade. Obviously, the more severe the condition and injury, the more white light is consumed. Yi Fan didn't think about how to restore Bai Guang, he just wants to take good care of his mother now. 15 minutes later, Yi Fan got a bowl of porridge and ate it carefully for his mother. This is the first time in 6 months that Shen Biqin has an appetite to eat. After finishing, Yi Fan called the beautiful doctor over again. After a thorough examination, the doctor was shocked and said, "How could this be possible? Shen Biqin is ready." Upon learning that her health was not seriously affected, Shen Biqin had to be discharged no matter what. In addition to the cost of hospitalization, there is also the fear of staying for a year and wanting to go home early to experience the atmosphere of life. Yi Fan couldn't resist her and could only handle the discharge procedures. When handling the procedures, Yi Fan thought there was very little left in his account, but he didn't expect to receive a refund of 95,000 yuan. He only found out when he asked that someone had deposited 100,000 yuan into the hospital account yesterday. Upon investigation by Yi Fan, it was Tang Ruoxue who made the money. His heart warmed, and Tang Ruoxue still had him in her heart. Yi Fan left 5,000 yuan for his mother to keep as a backup, and the remaining money was transferred back to Tang Ruoxue. Afterwards, he packed his things and was discharged from the hospital. Just as Yi Fan helped the old man to the door, 3 valuable luxury cars brushed past them. Fast and fierce. The wheel almost ran over Shen Biqin's toe. Yi Fan shouted angrily, "How did you drive?" "Hurrying to get reincarnated." Shen Biqin advised softly, "Yi Fan, forget it, forget it." The luxury car came back and stopped, the car door opened, and a young man with earrings crawled out and cursed. "Dare to scold Huang Xiao. You want to die, don't you?" Then, Huang Dongqiang and Yuan Jing's group appeared. "Oh, is it Yi Fan? Kid, you're quite durable. Did you come out so soon?" Seeing Yi Fan, Huang Dongqiang immediately leaned over and walked towards him with a smile on his face, saying, "Copper skin and iron bones. Your mother has also been discharged from the hospital. Unable to borrow money, ready to go home and die. Do you want me to sponsor a pair of Nanmu coffins?" A group of companions burst out laughing with disdain and teasing in their eyes. Yuan Jing remained aloof as always, and seeing Yi Fan added a hint of disgust. The humbleness and kneeling of Yi Fan who borrowed money yesterday made Yuan Jing lose interest in humiliating Yi Fan. Yi Fan's voice sank and he said, "Huang Dongqiang, you curse my mother and seek death. Looking for death. What the fuck are you?" Huang Dongqiang knocked his leather shoes on the ground, his aura very arrogant. "Who gave you the courage to challenge me?" The young man with the earrings responded with a strange tone, "Yesterday's beating wasn't enough, was it?" A few beautiful female companions covered their mouths and chuckled lightly. "Kneel down, kowtow, apologize." Huang Dongqiang pointed his finger at Yi Fan and said, "I don't think this has happened before, otherwise I will send you mother and son to the morgue." Upon hearing this, Yi Fan's eyes turned cold and he said, "Don't bully others too much." Huang Dongqiang sneered and said, "What's wrong with bullying people too much? You're not convinced." Several attendants pulled out their swing sticks and twisted their necks to surround Yi Fan. Yuan Jing's voice was indifferent and she said, "Yi Fan, stop showing off and kneel down to apologize. Dong Chang is not something you can provoke. Young man, everything is easy to discuss." At this moment, Shen Biqin also tightly grabbed the angry Yi Fan and blocked the way, smiling at Huang Dongqiang. "Huang Gongzi, I used to work as a housekeeper at your house before. I know your mother, give me some face, don't see Yi Fan. He is young and immature. If you have a large number of adults, let him go." Shen Biqin accompanied the smiling face. Give you face. Huang Dongqiang sneered and spat on Shen Biqin. What are you? Why should I give you face? An old man dares to lose face. Can you afford it? His mother? For anyone, this rude and impolite way is considered an insult, but Shen Biqin dare not fight back and will accept it. Being humiliated, ridiculed, or bullied never causes trouble, not because of generosity, but because of the sadness that ordinary people have no choice. Do you want to kill my mother like this? Yi Fan clenched his fists, his face full of anger as he rushed forward, only to be held tightly by his mother. Seeing Yi Fan stubbornly stubborn, Yuan Jing was very angry and said, Yi Fan, are you still showing off your abilities? Is Dongqiang something that your mother and son can offend? Kneel down quickly, it's not that you haven't knelt before. Everyone knows the root of it, so don't pretend. She tried her best to mediate, firstly because stepping on Yi Fan lost her sense of achievement, and secondly, to show her magnanimity in front of outsiders. Unexpectedly, Yi Fan was completely ungrateful and said, Don't worry, I won't kneel again in the future. Yuan Jing became impatient. If you don't listen to my advice again, I won't care about you. Without my face, you might not even be able to save your life. She proudly raised her chin. Yi Fan rudely shouted, Get out. Yuan Jing's pretty face turned cold and said, Dongqiang, I don't care about him anymore. You can do whatever you want. Huang Xiao, Yi Fan is not sensible. Please forgive me. Don't worry, Yi Fan will never provoke you again in the future. Seeing Huang Dongqiang's fierce light shining, Shen Biqin quickly dragged Yi Fan behind her and said, Let's forget about this today. With this money and a little kindness, please invite Huang Xiao to have tea with your brothers. Shen Biqin took out 3,000 yuan from her pocket and humbly stuffed it into Huang Dongqiang's pocket. Pa! Huang Dongqiang slapped Shen Biqin in the face with a backhand. Shen Biqin instinctively exclaimed, Huang Xiao. Pop! Another crisp sound exploded. Do you dare me to forgive people like ants? Before Shen Biqin could react, Huang Dongqiang continued to kick. Shen Biqin let out a muffled snort and stumbled backwards. Whoosh! At this moment, Yi Fan's figure flashed. Before Huang Dongqiang could see it clearly, he felt his neck tighten. Yi Fan grabbed Huang Dongqiang's neck and slammed into the window of a luxury car at a speed that no one could react to. Bang! A shocking impact, the car window instantly burst, and Huang Dongqiang's head splashed with blood. The strength is terrifying. This is not over yet. Yi Fan shook his hand and threw Huang Dongqiang, who was dizzy and disoriented, onto the ground, mercilessly kicking his arm. Click. With a crisp sound, Huang Dongqiang's left hand was instantly fractured. A companion was momentarily stunned before rushing towards Yi Fan. Yi Fan didn't even look and slapped him 5 meters away with a backhand. Oral and nasal bleeding. The whole audience was stunned. No one expected that Yi Fan would be so powerful and fierce. Shen Biqin also opened her mouth wide. Yi Fan didn't stop and hooked his fingers at the remaining few people, saying, Let's go together. 4 people roared and rushed over. Yi Fan directly used speed and force to crush. 1 punch, 1 foot. Bang bang bang. The 4 people who rushed forward were all violently knocked down by Yi Fan, with bruises and swollen faces, broken hands and feet. You! The whole audience was shocked. A few beautiful girls couldn't believe it. Looking at Yi Fan, they never expected this useless person to be so capable of fighting. How could this be? Yuan Jing couldn't accept the result in front of her. How could Yi Fan beat so many people down? She wants to see Yi Fan kneel down and beg for mercy, not see Yi Fan slaying in all directions. Looking at the good people around, each with a face full of shock, even admiring Yi Fan, Yuan Jing's heart shrank sharply. A nameless flame suddenly rose. Yi Fan, who was abandoned by her, should be useless. How could she suddenly become so powerful? Did you take medication in the hospital? Yes, it must be like this, otherwise it wouldn't be so powerful. Then, Yuan Jing secretly gritted her teeth again. Even if you can really fight, what kind of society is it now? You can fight with a knife, you can fight with a gun, you can fight with a country. Without education, background, and connections, your life is destined to be mediocre. After a self-comforting outburst, Yuan Jing gradually felt relieved. At this moment, Yi Fan was slowly walking towards Huang Dongqiang. Kid, do you dare to harm us? Huang Dongqiang was also dumbfounded, but still spoke fiercely, do you know the consequences of touching me? Before the latter finished speaking, Yi Fan slapped him in the face. Huang Dongqiang's 2 teeth fell and his mouth was covered in blood. Then, Yi Fan grabbed his neck and said, tell me, what are the consequences? Yi Fan, that's enough. Yuan Jing stood up angrily and said, you have already caused trouble. If you don't stop, you will regret it. Pa! Yi Fan slapped Huang Dongqiang in the face again and said, what kind of trouble did you cause? Huang Dongqiang roared angrily, you bastard. Disagree. Yi Fan slapped his face again. Huang Dongqiang covered his cheeks, his face full of resentment, but he dared not speak back. Yuan Jing was also furious and said, you. In her eyes, only Huang Dongqiang could teach Yi Fan a lesson, and Yi Fan had no right to wreak havoc on Huang Dongqiang. Yi Fan gently patted Huang Dongqiang's face and said, tell me, what are the consequences and what kind of trouble? Huang Dongqiang was very frustrated, but in the end, he gritted his teeth. I admit defeat today, what do you really want? Yi Fan clasps his throat as firmly as Mount Tai. Give me 10 slaps on the face, apologize to my mother, compensate, otherwise I'll depose you. Shen Biqin tugged at Yi Fan's sleeve and said, Yi Fan, forget it, forget it. Huang Dongqiang looked at Yi Fan's eyes and inexplicably felt fear. Although he felt humiliated by being bullied by Yi Fan today, he believed that Yi Fan could say and do it. Because he felt that Yi Fan had become a different person, no longer a useless person who could be easily bullied. Huang Dongqiang could even feel the coldness of Yi Fan's fingers. Further criticism will only make it worse to be trampled on. Today, hold back and try to kill this mother and son another day. Huang Dongqiang's mind was spinning with thoughts. So he struggled to bow his head to Shen Biqin. Auntie, I'm sorry. Then he gave himself 10 big slaps and even offered several thousand yuan in compensation. Although Shen Biqin had a worried expression on her face, she still felt proud when she heard the apology. Yi Fan stared at Huang Dongqiang, caught the resentment in his eyes, and knew that Huang Dongqiang would retaliate sooner or later. His thoughts changed, and the jade of life and death shone brightly. At the same time, a line of information emerged in Yi Fan's mind. Status: early-stage liver cancer, syphilis virus, arm fracture. Cause: excessive alcohol and sexual activity, smoking prohibited substances, being beaten by others, repair or destroy. Without hesitation, Yi Fan flashed the thought of destruction, knowing that it meant worsening the condition. A black light injected into Huang Dongqiang's body. Ah! Huang Dongqiang let out an inexplicable scream and then slipped from Yi Fan's hand to the ground. Late-stage liver cancer. Yi Fan shouted, get lost. Huang Dongqiang left with resentment from Yuan Jing and the others. Looking at Huang Dongqiang's disheveled figure, Yi Fan flashed a glimmer of light. This is a dead person. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Tang Ruoxue's Buddha Plaques. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3 Tang Ruoxue's Buddha Plaques. Chapter 3 Tang Ruoxue's Buddha Plaques. Shen Biqin felt that her son had changed a lot, but she didn't ask too many questions. She lay in the hospital for almost a year, and it is normal for suffering to change Yi Fan. She also didn't inquire about Yi Wujiu's situation, so as not to cause any further harm to Yi Fan's heart. Returning to the rental house, Yi Fan paid the landlord's rent and then moved out overnight with his mother. In addition to avoiding harassment from online lending companies, there is also a way to prevent retaliation from Huang Dongqiang and others. Yi Fan has the strength and confidence to protect himself, but his mother can even be blown down by a gust of wind. Yi Fan rented a single room in the village of Baishazhu City to temporarily support his mother. Shen Biqin's health has improved and the pressure on medical expenses has decreased, but Yi Fan is not easy because she still owes a lot of online loans. Moreover, Yi Fan is also concerned about finding his adoptive father Yi Wujiu. Whether he lives or dies always requires a definitive conclusion. Ding! On the morning of the 5th day after discharge, Shen Biqin's health improved significantly and she was now able to take care of herself. Yi Fan opened his phone that had been turned off for 5 days, and dozens of text messages flooded in. Then, a phone call came in. Yi Fan put on earplugs to answer, and soon a cold voice from a woman came. Finally booted up. I thought your payment was missing. These days, my phone hasn't turned on, my messages haven't returned, and I haven't seen anyone at home. What have you been doing? If you don't want to stay at the Tang family, hurry up and get lost. Tang Ruoxue. Yi Fan quickly spoke up and explained, I'm sorry, I've been staying with my mom these days. She's just been discharged and needs someone to take care of her. The phone was turned off because the debt collection company was shouting around the clock. I was worried that she might be worried, so I temporarily turned it off. He asked softly, what do you need to ask me? Although Yi Fan suffered a lot of humiliation in the Tang family this year, he knew he had no right to go crazy. After all, it was the Tang family who gave him 500,000 life-saving money back then. Upon hearing Yi Fan taking care of Shen Biqin, Tang Ruoxue's voice softened slightly. Send me the location and I'll drive to pick you up. Yi Fan was slightly surprised and said, have you returned from your trip? A week ago, a group of 5 members of the Tang family went on a trip abroad, leaving Yi Fan alone to guard the Tang family. Can't you understand what I'm saying? Send me a location message. Tang Ruoxue hung up the phone impatiently. Yi Fan can only send the location. Woo! Half an hour later, a red BMW stopped in front of Yi Fan. The car door opened and a dazzling beauty emerged. A woman is dressed in black, with delicate facial features, snow-white skin, a cool temperament, but not lacking in sexiness. Especially a pair of snow-white legs, slender, round, and full of temptation when walking. Many passers-by suddenly widened their eyes and even breathed rapidly without realizing it. Tang Ruoxue. The most beautiful woman in China and also the wife of Yi Fan. You're really a filial son, renting such a terrible place for your mother. Tang Ruoxue continued to mock Yi Fan, but still took out a few bags of bird's nest and ginseng and handed them over. This is a supplement for your mother, let her take good care of her body. Didn't your mother have surgery? Why did she return the money? She threw a bank card over and said, the Tang family has already spent 600,000 to 700,000 on you, and they don't care about this 100,000 anymore. Yi Fan quickly waved his hand and said, no need, her body is much better now, there's no need for surgery. Just hold it for you, keep it for her if there's anything else. Tang Ruoxue rudely interrupted Yi Fan, in case you borrow money everywhere and make a fool of yourself. Don't show me any backbone, even if you have backbone, you won't burden the Tang family anymore. You even take me 10,000 yuan per month for medical expenses. Her tone carried a hint of contempt, and Yi Fan's refusal at this moment, while maintaining his so-called dignity, was just a pretense. Tang Ruoxue's words dealt a great blow to Yi Fan, but when he wanted to throw his bank card back, Tang Ruoxue had already gotten into the car. Yi Fan could only hold the supplements and bank card and say, thank you, have your parents come back yet? Tang Ruoxue's voice has always been cold. What does it have to do with you whether you can come back or not? Give your things to your mother quickly, I have something to tell you. Yi Fan didn't speak anymore, took the things to his mother's rented house, and then said hello and left. Woo! As soon as Yi Fan got into the passenger seat, Tang Ruoxue stepped on the accelerator and left. Yi Fan's body couldn't stop swaying, and his left hand accidentally touched Tang Ruoxue's thigh. Smooth and delicate. At the same time, a message emerged in Yi Fan's mind. Status. Evil energy entering the body, bad luck lingering on the body, harm to family and friends, threat of death cause. The Buddha license obtained from overseas tourism has been lowered by people repair or destroy. Yi Fan really wanted to say repair, but before he could turn his mind, Tang Ruoxue's eyes were already cold. Yi Fan quickly moved his hand away from eating tofu. He wants to help Tang Ruoxue resolve the evil energy, but repairing it requires physical contact, and Tang Ruoxue will never let him touch it. So he can only kindly remind. Ruoxue, your printing hall is dark, your momentum is weak, and you have a bloody disaster. You need to find a master to resolve it. Tang Ruoxue sneered and said, I haven't seen you for a few days. I've grown up and learned how to look at people. Yi Fan awkwardly said, no, you really have evil energy lingering around you. It's because you were lowered while traveling. Do you have a Buddha card on you? He spoke out about Tang Ruoxue's situation in one breath. Shut up. You're just haunted by evil energy, you're just a disaster of blood and light. Tang Ruoxue felt ashamed and angry, I'm in good health. If you curse me again, get out of here. Yi Fan said helplessly, I really didn't curse you. If it's not you, just shut up for me. Tang Ruoxue's eyes were sharp as he said, if you don't understand anything, just be carefree. As someone who only knows how to cook, you still know how to show people physiognomy. Yi Fan is witty and keeps quiet. Seeing that Yi Fan remained silent, Tang Ruoxue became even angrier. Yi Fan was not only incompetent, but also cowardly. What use could it be? However, a hint of doubt flashed through her heart. How did Yi Fan know he had a Buddha card? You know, she carried it to her heart. Is it this bastard peeping and using it to deceive herself? It must be like this. Tang Ruoxue made a judgment, and then her pretty face became even more disappointed. Yi Fan is not only incompetent, but also a pervert. Yi Fan, this month, when I finish my work, I will divorce you. Tang Ruoxue's gaze was unprecedentedly firm. Whether you oppose it or not, I will divorce you. A year ago, the Tang family suffered a series of misfortunes, and Tang Ruoxue was also seriously ill. Out of joy, she needed to recruit Yi Fan to become a burden. Over the past year, the misfortune of the Tang family has dissipated, and Tang Ruoxue's health has also improved. The Tang family is thinking of abandoning Yi Fan, this dog skin ointment. Everyone in the Tang family looked down on Yi Fan. Tang Ruoxue's sympathy for Yi Fan has turned into disgust, and she has no value in this man. Upon hearing the divorce, Yi Fan remained silent, only his gaze darkened. I am really a street mouse. Do you know why your parents, siblings, and husband are all disappointed with you? It's not because you don't have money, nor because you come to your door, but because you're too cowardly and useless. In the past year, apart from doing some household chores, you have never done anything serious. You are so cowardly and incompetent. I really don't want to spend my whole life with a man like you, even if you're just a tool used by the Tang family to bring joy. Don't worry, I will give you another 500,000 when you get divorced. So you don't have to worry, your mother doesn't have medical expenses. Tang Ruoxue's voice was emotionless. Let's get together and part ways, don't let me completely look down on you. Good to gather and good to scatter. A hint of pain flashed through Yi Fan's eyes. He vaguely thought of the little girl with braids and red clothes who saved herself with a bag of cha siu bao in the snowy dusk. Although 18 years have passed in a blink of an eye, Yi Fan still remembers the girl's face and her kindness. This is also the biggest reason why he is willing to come and celebrate. 500,000 yuan is certainly important, but more importantly, Yi Fan wants to repay the kindness of that year. Otherwise, he would have sold himself for more than 500,000. Yi Fan sighed in his heart. Perhaps it's time to let go, did you hear me? Seeing Yi Fan's dazed expression, Tang Ruoxue spoke with resentment and said, I want to divorce you. Whoosh! Before the words could be fully spoken, Yi Fan, who was originally silent, sat up straight with his ears twitching. He leaned against Tang Ruoxue and exerted tremendous force to suppress her movements. The next second, turn the steering wheel with your left hand and press her slender thigh with your right hand. The BMW, who was about to stop at the intersection and wait for a red light, slammed on the accelerator and shot out like a sharp arrow. Yi Fan! Tang Ruoxue screamed, are you crazy? Boom! The car had just rushed to the opposite side and a mud truck swept over and collided with 6 cars, causing the road to be shattered. Screams erupted everywhere. Tang Ruoxue pushed Yi Fan away, stepped on the brake, and turned her head to look. Bloody all over the place. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Saving people in car accidents. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4 Saving People in Car Accidents. Chapter 4 Saving People in Car Accidents. Yi Fan. Looking at the miserable situation, Tang Ruoxue felt indescribable despair. What are you doing? What are you doing? How can you take responsibility for all the cars and people you've caused so much trouble with? She hurriedly unbuttoned her seatbelt and got off the car. She thought it was Yi Fan who suddenly ran a light that caused the mud truck to lose control, and then the chain reaction led to this series of car accidents. Tang Ruoxue rushed towards the car accident center. At this moment, the stunned passers-by and car owners also reacted and swarmed towards the accident site. Many women instinctively let out a scream in front of the bloody scene. Yi Fan also crawled out of the car door. More than 10 injured people lay on the ground, howling in agony, either with broken hands or feet. The mud truck driver also collapsed in the pool of blood, his body constantly twitching, but he still had a breath. Cece, Cece. At this moment, a mournful shout sounded, instantly attracting everyone's attention. In a bulletproof Audi car, a woman in purple climbed out, with a peerless appearance and covered in blood. She ignored it and just shouted at the collapsed back row. There sits her precious daughter. But now it's being crushed by an off-road vehicle. The woman in purple had tears on her face and pushed the off-road vehicle desperately. Bang! A black box with code 9981 rolled off the seat and fell to the ground. The woman in purple completely ignored and continued to push the off-road vehicle. Tang Ruoxue rushed over and said, everyone come over and rescue the child together. A dozen or so people ran over and forcefully lifted the off-road vehicle. Yi Fan also wanted to walk over, but he suddenly realized that there was a 7 or 8-year-old little girl in front of him. Watermelon head, longevity lock, pink dress, very cute. The little girl didn't have a smile, her eyes were empty, and she stiffened as she shuttled through the panicked crowd. Children, don't wander around. There were too many people on site, and Yi Fan was worried that the little girl might get lost. Where are your adults? He grabbed the little girl's wrist and felt an indescribable coldness in his palm. The little girl didn't respond to Yi Fan, just stared at the distance without moving. Get lost. A red-clothed woman who came running over saw Yi Fan standing still and was very angry, shouting at Yi Fan. If you don't help, get out of here. What's blocking the way for? Then, with a sudden thrust of her buttocks, she pushed Yi Fan a few meters away. The next second, she wore it over the little girl, wore it over Yi Fan was completely stunned. Does Auntie know how to pierce walls? Otherwise, how could the girl not fall? How could it be completely unscathed? The red-clothed aunt ignored Yi Fan's shock and just turned her head and let out a curse to him. At this moment, Tang Ruoxue turned around and saw Yi Fan, who was dumbfounded. Her pretty face was filled with anger and disappointment. Isn't this bastard clear that his recklessness caused the car accident? Not only did he not come to save someone and redeem himself, but he also stood outside watching the excitement. What a coward, a heartless coward. Divorce. We must get divorced. Tang Ruoxue has lost faith in Yi Fan, he really can't support the wall with mud, bang. At this moment, Audi was pulled open enough by the crowd, and the little girl's entire body was exposed. Just pale as paper cheeks and bloodstains all over, it's heart-wrenching. Ah! Yi Fan's eyes widened suddenly. 7 or 8 years old. Watermelon head. Long life lock. Pink dress. He looked at the girl carried out by the crowd, then at the girl he was holding, and a chill couldn't help but rush up to his head. Same person. At this moment, Yi Fan felt the girl in his hand shake and her figure become blurry, as if the wind would disperse. Someone rushed past Yi Fan again and passed directly through the little girl. No obstruction. Yi Fan was completely stunned. Then, Yi Fan noticed that there seemed to be an invisible rope pulling the little girl towards the darkness. Don't leave. Yi Fan gave a wake-up call and tightly grabbed the little girl. His intuition told him that if he didn't hold on to the shadow in his hand, the little girl would die completely. Woo! At this moment, the ambulance drove over, and the doctor and nurse quickly rushed to the side of the Audi car. A doctor looked into the little girl's eyes and tried listening to her pulse and heart. Then he shook his head helplessly. Seeing the doctor's apologetic expression, the woman in purple collapsed on the ground and cried bitterly. Save my daughter, save my daughter. Who can save my daughter? I, Song Hongyan, have been a horse and a cow for him for a lifetime. Overwhelmed with grief. Tang Ruoxue also shed tears, and the little girl, like a flower, left like this, which was truly heartbreaking. While others sympathized, they also shocked the identity of the woman in purple. Song Hongyan, the founder of Woohoo Group, is one of the few strong women in Zhonghai, with a wealth of billions. Getting the favor of Song Hongyan will lead to prosperity in this lifetime. Unfortunately, Cixie's injury was too severe, and no one had the strength to recover. Wait a minute. Just as the medical staff was about to carry away Cixie, Tang Ruoxue suddenly heard a familiar voice. She can still be saved. Yi Fan dragged the shadow through the crowd, kicked open the black box blocking the way, and then ran to the little girl on the ground to hold down the life gate. Status. Damage to the 5 organs and 6 viscera, 3 broken ribs, internal bleeding, soul exiting the body cause. Severe car accident. Insufficient energy, unable to fully repair, can be saved with the 9 Palace Revitalization Needle. The white light of the life and death jade is only left in 1 piece. 9 Palace bullshit, I haven't even started learning medical skills yet. How can I rescue them? Having learned medical skills, I'm afraid my soul has already flown away. Help her. Help her. Repair her soul. Yi Fan roared inwardly. Whoosh. A white light penetrated the little girl's body. The little girl's face has an extra blush. Little sister, go back quickly. Yi Fan anxiously shouted at the little girl in his hand. The little girl obediently lay down, but her head just popped out and couldn't fall down no matter what. Bang! Yi Fan slapped her forehead with a life and death jade and directly knocked the little girl's head off. He clearly felt the little girl's body tremble, as if it had been superimposed again. Yi Fan, why are you hitting her on the head? At this moment, Tang Ruoxue reacted and roared angrily. Do you still think the trouble you caused is not big enough? She is full of disgust towards Yi Fan. If it weren't for him suddenly running a red light, how could this car accident have happened? How could innocent Cixie be killed? She reached out to pull Yi Fan, but remained motionless. Young man, what are you doing? The wounded have lost their vitality and cannot be saved. Are you crazy? Doctors say he's hopeless. What is he doing there? Is he showing off? This kid just watched the excitement and now he's coming out, he must be trying to hype it up. Are car accidents all hyped up, or are people here? Behind him, a group of onlookers also cursed at Yi Fan, their faces full of contempt and disdain. Song Hongyan lost her sanity and said, "Don't touch my daughter." She slapped her in the face. With a crisp sound, Yi Fan's face added 5 fingerprints. Go. Yi Fan's body shook and his face hurt, but he ignored it. He exerted all his strength to suppress the little girl's head, preventing her from bouncing back. Go back. Pop. At this moment, Yi Fan's palm relaxed, and the little girl's chest straightened, spitting out a mouthful of blood, quick, fast. Yi Fan shouted, "Rescue!" The doctor and the audience were completely stunned. They never expected that the little girl who was declared dead by the doctor would come back to life again. After pausing for a second, medical staff rushed to rescue the patient. If the situation stabilized slightly, they immediately contacted the hospital for surgery. Song Hongyan was momentarily stunned, then ecstatic. She kowtowed 3 times to Yi Fan and then followed the ambulance to the hospital. How could this be possible? Tang Ruoxue was also shocked, as if she didn't know Yi Fan. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Fake Painting. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5 Fake Painting. Chapter 5 Fake Painting. At 6 o'clock in the evening, Yi Fan and Tang Ruoxue came out of the traffic police brigade. Tang Ruoxue looked very embarrassed. In order to seek leniency, she took the initiative to take responsibility as soon as she entered. She didn't mention Yi Fan grabbing the steering wheel at all, but only said she was willing to take full responsibility, lose money, and go to jail. She agreed. The traffic police looked at her strangely and informed her that she and Yi Fan had no responsibility at all. The cause of the accident was due to the aging of the front wheels of the mud truck and a burst tire. The traffic police also called out surveillance footage, praising Yi Fan's decisive decision. If Yi Fan hadn't fled in time, they would have been crushed to death on the spot. Tang Ruoxue was stunned. She found that she not only blamed Yi Fan, but also owed him a thank you. If it weren't for Yi Fan, I would be afraid of disappearing at this moment. Getting into the BMW car, Tang Ruoxue originally wanted to apologize, but couldn't save face. She finally snorted, "Fortunately, the car accident had nothing to do with you, otherwise you would have been stuck in jail." Yi Fan has long been accustomed to the tough talk style of the Tang family. "Understood, I'll be careful next time." Tang Ruoxue just took the blame for him, making Yi Fan's heart soften. No matter how Tang Ruoxue looks down on her, she still protects herself in her heart. Then, he gently stroked the black box in his hand. The box fell out of Audi, with the code written as 9981. Song Hongyan specifically called and asked the traffic police to hand over the box to Yi Fan. She also insisted that Yi Fan accept it. Yi Fan didn't hesitate too much. With only one life, Cici is naturally worth a gift. Thinking of Cici, Yi Fan had a hint of concern in his eyes. A white light barely healed Cici's soul, but it was not enough to help her overcome danger. He is thinking of going to see the little girl tomorrow. Upon hearing Yi Fan's words, Tang Ruoxue turned the steering wheel and left. "You have finally matured." Yi Fan withdrew his gaze from the distance and took advantage of Tang Ruoxue's relaxed mood to speak. "Ruoxue, actually I'm not talking nonsense. You have a bloody disaster when your evil energy enters your body, and the car accident is a proof." He reminded, "You'd better throw away the Buddha card." "Shut up." Tang Ruoxue's face suddenly turned black and she said, "Can you stop talking nonsense? This is the Buddha card my mother begged for me during the trip. Are you saying that my mother wants to harm my daughter?" Yi Fan quickly waved his hand and said, "I didn't mean that, it's just that mom might have been calculated. Come on, when we go on a trip, no one knows anyone. Those people are eating their fill and relying solely on the Tang family's calculations. Tang Ruoxue abruptly ended the conversation and said, the car accident just now was an accident, and the disaster of blood and light is a baseless story. Don't tell me this again, or else you'll roll off my car. In her opinion, Yi Fan is seeking attention from the public. Yi Fan was very helpless and stopped talking to prevent Tang Ruoxue from getting angry, while also thinking about how to help resolve the situation. The Buddha card is still absorbing Tang Ruoxue's energy and vitality, and will face the threat of death in 10.5 days. He wants to resolve this matter as soon as possible. Ga. Half an hour later, the red BMW stopped at the entrance of the Phoenix Hotel. How did you come here? Yi Fan was slightly stunned, then patted his head. Tonight is the 50th birthday of his father. Law Tang Sangua. The Tang family booked a banquet to celebrate at the Phoenix Hotel. I forgot it was my dad's birthday. I'll go buy something. Yi Fan has suffered a lot in the past year, but it is still a good day for his father. Law, and he needs to express himself to some extent. No need, I'll take it. Big sister and they will also come today. It's best for you to stay quiet later, so as not to embarrass yourself. Tang Ruoxue opened the trunk of the car, took out a gift box, and walked into the hotel without looking back. After thinking for a moment, Yi Fan took the black box given by Song Hongyan and went in. Although he hasn't opened it yet, Song Hongyan dares to give it to him as a life-saving gift. Giving it to his father. Law should also pass the level. Soon, Yi Fan followed Tang Ruoxue to the birthday banquet hall and found that the Tang family had hosted many relatives tonight. Nearly 30 people set up 3 large round tables, making it incredibly lively. Sister Tang Fenghua and brother. Law Han Jianfeng are also present. However, my father. Law Tang Sangua and mother. In. Law Lin Qiuling have not arrived yet, and my sister. Law is currently studying abroad and will not come back. Ruoxue, you have come. Today is my father's 50th birthday, why did you come so late? Although your parents always love you, you also want to serve dim sum. Upon seeing Tang Ruoxue and Yi Fan appear, Tang Fenghua and the others gathered around with smiles and exchanged pleasantries. They didn't even glance at Yi Fan. Yi Fan didn't care either. However, Han Jianfeng, the eldest sister's husband, continued to be difficult. Yi Fan, today is my father's 50th birthday. What gift are you giving? Don't say that what Ruoxue bought is what you bought. How could you spend some money on the Tang family's food while using the Tang family's food on a good day? You shouldn't be empty-handed, right? He looked at Yi Fan with a smile on his face and a hint of resentment in his eyes. Although big sister Tang Fenghua is also a beauty, she is much different from Tang Ruoxue. So he regarded Yi Fan, who was holding on to a beautiful woman, as a thorn in his side. Yi Fan calmly replied, I brought a gift. Tang Ruoxue was taken aback. When the traffic police gave Yi Fan the box, Tang Ruoxue was unaware. Ha ha ha, did you bring a gift? Han Jianfeng laughed and said, let me see, what did you buy? Before Tang Ruoxue could react, Han Jianfeng stepped forward with one arrow and snatched the black box from Yi Fan's hand. Open. A large ugly red ginseng fruit shaped like a dragon head presents everyone's vision. Gift. Ginseng fruit. The packaging is so broken, the fruit is so ugly, it's definitely a street vendor. Yeah, it's so red and terrifying. I'm 100% drugged with chemicals, I'm going to eat it to death. Waste is waste. On Dad's birthday, give a ginseng fruit with 5 yuan each. And even if you give it away, you have to give it a bit more normal. This ugly and popular toy looks like a fake and inferior product. Dad's birthday doesn't even bother you, how do you still want to be your son? Law. Get divorced and get lost now. Han Jianfeng and Tang's relatives burst into laughter, with disdain and disgust in their eyes. Tang Ruoxue's pretty face was stiff, but I didn't expect Yi Fan to embarrass her again. She muttered to herself. Useless thing. Yi Fan doesn't respond, but is shocked to see ginseng fruit. He never expected that Song Hongyan would give such an expensive gift. Seeing Yi Fan motionless, everyone felt ashamed of being exposed and burst into laughter. Fool, take a look at the things I sent to Dad, the calligraphy and paintings of Wu Daozi from the Tang dynasty. Han Jianfeng took out the gift in his hand, opened it, and proudly said. The bright moon on the sea. I spent a lot of effort to find it, it cost me 330,000 yuan. As for its true market price, it's more than 10 times higher. I also sought out several experts in this field for appraisal. Han Jianfeng clearly wanted to use his gift to show off his superiority in front of relatives, but it was inconvenient to show off directly, so he used Yi Fan as an excuse. Yi Fan, remember, if you want to give a gift to your father, you should give him this top-quality item. Don't use the messy street vendor's goods to pass on to your parents. The relatives of the Tang family were amazed. The gift of hundreds of thousands is really a big deal. Moreover, compared with Yi Fan's ugly ginseng fruit, it is really the difference between heaven and earth. Brother.in.law, I admit your gift is very nice. Tang Ruoxue gritted her scalp to help Yi Fan break free. But giving gifts to Dad is not a matter of comparison between high and low, as long as you have the intention. She really regretted not paying attention to the box in Yi Fan's hand, otherwise she would have thrown this embarrassing gift into the trash can long ago. When one's heart reaches it, one must also have sincerity. Han Jianfeng sneered. You eat and live with your parents every day, and spend a little more money to make them happy, isn't that okay? It's just that you don't value it. Tang Fenghua hides a knife in her smile. Jianfeng, forget it, even if it's not easy for Ruoxue, we need to raise Yi Fan, who eats soft food. Everyone burst into laughter again, filled with a joyful atmosphere. Tang Ruoxue blushed and said, You. Although she serves as the president of the Tiantang subsidiary and earns several million yuan annually, her parents take away all the money, leaving very little idle money in her hands. She really can't afford gifts that can easily cost hundreds of thousands. Ruoxue, don't be angry. Although our gifts are average, they are valuable in their authenticity. At this moment, Yi Fan spoke faintly. It's better than my brother.in.law bringing a fake painting to congratulate my parents' birthday. The whole scene fell silent in an instant. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Shame at Family Banquets. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6 Shame at Family Banquets. Chapter 6 Shame at Family Banquets. Fake painting. Everyone looked at Han Jianfeng in surprise. Fart. I spent over 300,000 yuan on this painting to get it from a spendthrift. Look at this sun, it's mostly round. Look at this sea, it's blue and deep. I also asked several experts, including the famous ghost eye master, all of whom said it was true. Seeing a group of relatives questioning him, Han Jianfeng felt his scalp explode and said, they all say it's worth more than 3 million yuan. Why is it fake in your mouth? Yi Fan, I want you to apologize. Apologize immediately. He said sternly and inwardly, otherwise it won't be over. That's right, food can be eaten randomly, words cannot be spoken randomly. Tang Fenghua also looked contemptuous and said, as a family cook, what do you know about calligraphy and painting? The relatives who were shocked just now realized that they had been deceived by Yi Fan upon hearing these words. How could he possibly understand these profound calligraphy and painting skills as a waste raised by the Tang family? I really have the ability, and there's no need to be a doorstep son.in.law to celebrate. Yi Fan, if you don't understand, just shut up and don't slander Sword Blade. Yeah, don't even look at what kind of person you are or what kind of professional you are. Can you distinguish between good and bad? Can someone who can't even find a job mean that calligraphy and painting are fake? Master Ghost Eye is the first person to appreciate treasures. He has already told the truth, so it must be true. Several dozen relatives became restless and mercilessly mocked Yi Fan, their voices particularly piercing. Tang Ruoxue's pretty face was very embarrassed, she didn't even have the strength to scold. When will Yi Fan not be so useless? She is mentally exhausted. Yi Fan remained calm on his face and said, Dad is an antique collector who has discerned countless calligraphy and paintings. Let Dad take a look later and we'll know if it's true or false. Han Jianfeng felt a slight thump in his heart and inexplicably hesitated. Besides Yi Fan's calmness, there is also the fact that he didn't buy this painting for 330,000 yuan, but for 30,000 yuan. Although the other party repeatedly assured him that it was true, he always felt a bit unreal. After all, it's too easy to pick it cheap. I'm a little more uneasy now. Is there really a problem with this painting? What's the noise? At this moment, a majestic woman shouted and scolded from the door. On a great day, what's the point of making a scene like a vegetable market? Lin Qiuling walked in with her husband Tang Sangua. A woman in her 40s, time has not left too many marks on her face and body. She has a beautiful appearance, snow-white skin, and still retains a feminine charm. Without considering her age, she is easily mistaken for someone in her early 30s. It is rumored that when Lin Qiuling was young, she was also a beautiful woman from Zhonghai, and her pursuers couldn't count their hands and feet. Tang Ruoxue's 3 sisters inherited her looks. However, her style is sharp and domineering, and she is also the owner of a large clinic, so she has a strong style both internally and externally. Even Tang and 3 kingdoms were obedient to her. Therefore, as soon as Lin Qiuling entered, the whole room instantly fell silent. Han Jianfeng pointed to Yi Fan and made a complaint. Mom, it's not me arguing, it's that idiot Yi Fan who said the painting I bought for you is fake. Isn't this a slander on my reputation? He looked aggrieved. It was originally fake, Yi Fan said faintly, shut up, what do you know? Tang Ruoxue angrily tugged at Yi Fan's sleeve and said, don't embarrass yourself, okay? Although she wanted Yi Fan to save face for herself, as Han Jianfeng said, how could Yi Fan possibly understand antique calligraphy in painting? Lin Qiuling gave Yi Fan a disgusted glance and took Tang 3 kingdoms to the main seat to sit down. Bring the painting over. Lin Qiuling pointed to Han Jianfeng and said, let me take a look with your father. Tang and 3 kingdoms enjoyed collecting antiques, and Lin Qiuling also learned a little from it. Han Jianfeng quickly handed over The Bright Moon on the Sea. Tang 3 kingdoms and Lin Qiuling carefully examined calligraphy and painting. 3 minutes later, Tang 3 kingdoms murmured in Lin Qiuling's ear. Lin Qiuling lifted her head and glanced at Han Jianfeng. Eyes displeased. Han Jianfeng's heart is already filled with desire to die. This clearly indicates that the calligraphy and painting are counterfeit. Tang Ruoxue also caught this look and felt happy in her heart. Is it true that Yi Fan's luck has turned? But Lin Qiuling poured a basin of cold water directly on Tang Ruoxue. This calligraphy and painting is a genuine and authentic work of Wu Daozi. Lin Qiuling looked straight at Yi Fan and raised her face to question. Yi Fan, if your knowledge is shallow and you have achieved nothing, don't criticize antiques and make people laugh at them. You have tarnished your brother-in-law's reputation, bring him a cup of tea and apologize well. Otherwise, you won't go back to the Tang family. Yi Fan was taken aback for a moment. There was clearly a problem with this calligraphy and painting. With the expertise of Tang 3 kingdoms and Lin Qiuling, one could definitely tell. Han Jianfeng was also taken aback for a moment, and then with a moment of joy, he understood. Dad, Mom, if you take a closer look, this painting is definitely fake. Yi Fan still wanted to explain, but Lin Qiuling interrupted sharply. What's fake? Do you mean that your father and I are getting older and our eyes are not working properly, so we can't even distinguish between true and false? I say it's real, it's real. She ordered, apologize to your brother. In law immediately. Tang Fenghua proudly shouted to Yi Fan. Yi Fan, Mom said it's true. What are you talking about? Mom, don't be angry. Yi Fan is already a useless person, pretending to be an expert in front of you and Dad. It doesn't matter. That's right, a person who inserts the door backwards, there's no need to worry about it. I'll just say, what do family cooks know about calligraphy and painting? They must be slandering swordsmen. A group of relatives mocked Yi Fan again. Han Jianfeng said confidently, Yi Fan, come over and apologize to me. Yi Fan's gaze was sharp as he looked at Lin Qiuling, and a hint of mockery suddenly appeared on his face. It's not that she didn't see it, it's just that she doesn't want to expose Han Jianfeng. For her, Yi Fan is a door-to-door's son.in.law, while Han Jianfeng is the owner of a construction company and a promising son.in.law. How could Lin Qiuling possibly hurt Han Jianfeng's face because of him? Tang Ruoxue's pretty face darkened as she said, Yi Fan, apologize. Tang Fenghua snorted, aren't you apologizing yet? Do you want to make your parents angry? Yi Fan smiled brightly. With so many people bullying him, it's really the original sin of the week. Before, Yi Fan would definitely bow his head and slap himself twice to apologize, but he doesn't want to back down tonight. Compromise will only allow the other party to take advantage and also harm those around them. Yi Fan took a step forward, raised his fingers and pinched them. The material of the painting was made of cloth, and with this squeezing, an additional thread was added, and then Yi Fan suddenly pulled it. Wow! The painting, which claimed to cost 3 million yuan, was instantly destroyed by Yi Fan, and Tang Ruoxue and the others changed their faces dramatically. Han Jianfeng was furious and said, Yi Fan, what are you doing? Yi Fan ignored everyone's gaze and directly pulled out a thin thread and threw it onto the table. Nylon thread. Artificial synthetic fibers. Born in 1938. Wu Daozi, who lived for over 700 years, crossed over and painted it. The whole scene was completely silent. Everyone was dumbfounded for a moment. Tang Fenghua also let out a loud cry, her mouth wide open and her face incredulous. They originally wanted to see Yi Fan joke, but ended up being slapped roughly in the face by Yi Fan. The modern nylon thread appeared in paintings 700 years ago, even fools know it's impossible. One blow to the throat. Han Jianfeng's cheeks were burning and painful. Lin Qiuling's face was also gloomy and ugly. Even if the painting is fake, it is 100 times better than your ginseng fruit. Seeing a group of relatives disdaining her husband, Tang Fenghua couldn't help but take out Yi Fan's box. Open. She poured out the ginseng fruit and banged it on the table. Our fake painting was deceived by someone, and it would be disrespectful to use it to congratulate Dad on his birthday. But what about you? If you give ginseng fruit as a gift to Dad, it will eat the dead. Tang Fenghua pointed at Yi Fan and cursed, compared to your gift, we are 100 times better. Han Jianfeng also directly put on his hat. Ginseng fruit is so ugly, do you want to poison Dad? People look at the ugly and red ginseng fruit and accuse Yi Fan of bad intentions. Tang Ruoxue frowned and tugged at Yi Fan's sleeve, saying, Yi Fan, please compensate your mother. Yi Fan did not apologize, but pointed to the ginseng fruit. Mom and Dad, do you also think this is a street stall? Tang Three Kingdoms stared and examined, suddenly his eyelids twitched and his eyes were shocked. He was about to stand up and shout, but was grabbed by Lin Qiuling. It looks ugly, has a bright red color, and a pungent smell. Lin Qiuling stared at Yi Fan and shouted, what is this, not street vendor goods? On the day of your birthday, are you giving this to your father to disrespect his longevity? Lin Qiling sternly reprimanded, your brother.in.law is right. No matter how bad the fake painting is, it's better than your malicious heart. She upholds Han Jianfeng. The firepower instantly shifted to Yi Fan. Tang Ruoxue looked at Yi Fan angrily. Is this bastard going to cause a big deal and make himself even more embarrassed? Did you hear me? Han Jianfeng grinned harshly and said, Fool, if you want me to make a fool of myself, it won't be you who embarrasses me in the end. Yi Fan looked at Lin Qiling and Tang Three Kingdoms and asked, is this gift really trash? What's not garbage? Tang Fenghua's pretty face turned cold and said, in my opinion, garbage is not as good as anything else. Yi Fan was disappointed with the Tang family, and no longer gave face. He picked up the ginseng fruit and snapped it. While chewing it, he turned on his mobile phone and threw a piece of news on the screen. At noon today, the annual auction of rare treasures successfully concluded at the Fugue Hall of Zhonghai Wuzhou Hotel. A dragon ginseng fruit from Kunlun Mountain, which has not been seen for 100 years, was sold at a high price. Ms. Song Hongyan from Wuhu Group acquired it for 3 million yuan. On the screen, the host was impassioned, not only playing the picture of the auction house, but also showing the ginseng fruit. Ugly, bright red, shaped like a dragon head, just like what Yi Fan eats in his mouth. Even the box code on the table is exactly the same as on the TV, September 1st ginseng fruit. Kunlun Mountain. It's hard to see in 100 years. 3 million. Everyone was completely stunned. Lin Qiling tightly grasped her clothes. A strong regret surged into my mind. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. I want to divorce. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. I want to divorce. Chapter 7. I want to divorce. Why didn't he die? Why didn't he die? Lin Qiling, who had just returned to the Tang family villa and had not even closed the door, became furious after suppressing herself all night. Get this trash out of my house, get out of our Tang family. She pointed at Yi Fan, who had not yet entered the door, and shouted. Go as far as you can. Yi Fan publicly exposed that calligraphy and painting were counterfeit, not only severely hitting Han Jianfeng in the face, but also putting her as the protagonist in an awkward situation. She and Tang Jiangwo couldn't even detect a fake that could be seen from a soft meal. Isn't it even inferior to waste? Lin Qiling cannot tell everyone that she deliberately favors Han Jianfeng. Of course, what she was really angry about was the ginseng fruit. It's worth 3 million. Extend life and prolong life. This precious thing, Yi Fan ate it clean alone. You know, this was originally intended for old Tang and himself. This made Lin Qiuling's heart bleed. That's the feeling of 3 million lottery tickets being washed away by one's own washing machine. She's embarrassed, she's angry, she's holding back. But she won't blame the Han Jianfeng couple, she will only hate the rebellious Yi Fan. Get lost, do you hear me? Lin Qiling screamed at Yi Fan, the Tang family doesn't want you, this white-eyed wolf. Tang Three Kingdoms looked helpless, wanting to say something but ultimately remained silent. Yi Fan did not enter the door to avoid noise pollution. After practicing Tai Chi Jing in controlling the life and death jade, Yi Fan unconsciously became confident and composed. Mom, what's wrong with me? Yi Fan changed his previous cowardice and spoke confidently. The painting was not given by me, it was given by my brother.in.law. If you want to scold him, you will also scold him for giving fake works. Besides, that ginseng fruit is also what you said was rubbish. Yi Fan calmly faced Lin Qiuling's sharp gaze and said, no matter how uncomfortable you are, you can't hate me. Do you think that the painting is fake when I'm in a muddle? Is the ginseng fruit real? I saw through everything at a glance. Lin Qiuling snapped, but in that situation, can I hit your brother.in.law in the face? You can't hit your brother.in.law's face, can you just hit my face? And reversing right and wrong is very unfair to me, Yi Fan said with a hint of mockery. Tang Ruoxue couldn't help frowning, feeling that Yi Fan was different from before. Hit your face. What kind of face can you have as a doorstep son? Law. Lin Qiuling became even more furious and said, can your face match that of your brother? Law. How can a family cook who only knows how to do household chores compare to your brother? Law, who is the boss? Jianfeng pays hundreds of thousands of respects to the Tang family every year, but you spent hundreds of thousands on them. How can you compare? I hit your face, it's your honor as a white-eyed wolf. She pointed at Yi Fan and cursed, it's an honor, do you understand? In Lin Qiuling's view, Yi Fan should bear all oppression and injustice, and any resistance is a great rebellion and injustice. Yi Fan smiled faintly and didn't speak again. He just looked at Tang Ruoxue, hoping she could say a few fair words. Yi Fan is not afraid of Lin Qiuling's torn face, but hopes that at this moment he is not alone. He wants to know for himself that he is a person with a wife. Tang Ruoxue gave a cold and indifferent glance, showing a slight impatience. All right, tonight, you all stop arguing. Yi Fan, apologize to your mother. Anyway, Mom is an elder. If she gets angry, it's just that you're not right. Tang Ruoxue ultimately stood on her mother's side and said, hurry up and compensate your mother. Tang and Three Kingdoms agreed, Yi Fan, apologize. Lin Qiuling pointed outside and shouted, I don't want him to apologize, I want him to get out of here. Yi Fan took a step forward and spoke softly, Mom, I want to divorce Ruoxue. Okay. Lin Qiuling subconsciously continued, just leave, then leave. Halfway through the conversation, she gave a wake-up call. What are you saying? Yi Fan repeated, I want to divorce Ruoxue. Divorce. The whole family was in complete silence. Lin Qiuling and her companion stared at Yi Fan in amazement. No one expected that Yi Fan would say such a sentence. According to Lin Qiuling's plan, Yi Fan should kneel down and cry bitterly for forgiveness. After all, Yi Fan is useless and can't even find a job, and he needs to rely on Tang's pocket money to treat Shen Biqin's illness. As a result, he wanted to divorce Tang Ruoxue. This sentence not only shocked Lin Qiuling and the others, but also made them feel uneasy. Tang Ruoxue also had a stunned expression and said, do you want to divorce me? Good to gather and good to scatter. Yi Fan spoke softly, for the Tang family, the value of my joy has been exhausted. Staying here will only hinder your eyes. Ruoxue, bring your household registration book tomorrow and let's go to the Civil Affairs Bureau to get married and divorced. Tang Ruoxue's attitude just now made him lose his last bit of imagination about the two of them. She has never considered herself a husband, it's all her own wishful thinking. In my mind, the impression I first met 18 years ago reappeared. People just change. The little girl who had a temper but had clear grievances back then has long since disappeared. Divorce. Lin Qiuling also reacted and smiled angrily. How dare a person who eats soft food even throw their face at divorce? Do you really consider yourself a person? In the past few months, she has divorced Tang Ruoxue and Yi Fan more than once, but every time there are always various unexpected failures. Lin Qiuling was eager for Yi Fan to leave the Tang family as soon as possible. But now she doesn't think so. Because this was initiated by Yi Fan. Not only her daughter, but also her and the Tang family feel embarrassed. What qualifications do you have to say about divorce? Lin Qiuling pointed at Yi Fan angrily and said. Without the Tang family, you trash can go out and starve to death in just 2 days. Let's get divorced, I don't want to have any involvement with the Tang family, Yi Fan said with a calm gaze. Don't want to be involved with the Tang family. Lin Qiuling smiled angrily and said, okay, divorce, you can get divorced. Not to mention 500,000 yuan. This year, you ate, drank, and lived with the Tang family. You owe us a huge favor. Her voice suddenly rose, if you want a divorce, you can pay off this debt first. Yi Fan calmly spoke up, how come it's returned? The Four Seas Chamber of Commerce owes me 2 million yuan for the Spring Breeze Clinic. Lin Chilling sneered. You are so capable and courageous. Go and get this money back from me tomorrow. I'll get it back, I'll have Ruoxue divorce you right away. She forced Yi Fan to death. Otherwise, you're just going to move bricks, sell blood, make ducks and dogs, and repay the Tang family's debt. Tang Ruoxue's pretty face changed and she said, Mom. Shut up. Lin Chilling interrupted Tang Ruoxue's words and stared at Yi Fan coldly, saying, Is there a problem? Yi Fan nodded and said, No problem. Subsequently, he silently walked through the hall, up the second floor, and arrived at Tang Ruoxue's bedroom. The bedroom is a suite, with a small hall inside and an inner room behind it. Tang Ruoxue lives inside, while Yi Fan sleeps on the sofa in the small hall. This year, Yi Fan and Tang Ruoxue were separated by a wall, but they had never entered the inner space and had no skin to match. Lin Chilling occasionally satirizes him as a watchdog. Countless times, Yi Fan yearned to sleep in the big bed inside. Just over the course of a year, Yi Fan became increasingly aware that it was an unattainable fantasy. Tonight, let Yi Fan know even more that it's time to let go. As soon as Yi Fan sat down on the sofa, Tang Ruoxue pushed open the door and entered with a fierce aura. Yi Fan, what are you? What qualifications do you have to despise me? She asked bluntly, why are you divorcing me? Yi Fan deliberately provoked her and said, a crazy woman who doesn't know right or wrong, will she stay for the Chinese New Year without divorce? Crazy woman. Tang Ruoxue laughed angrily. So what are you? You can't find a job, you can't do household chores well, and you have to find a crazy woman to pay for your mother. You're just a waste that's not even as good as a crazy woman. She despised Yi Fan even more. Besides being cowardly and incompetent, she was also arrogant. Yi Fan smiled without hesitation and said, I'm actually a waste. Let's divorce as soon as possible, so we can get together and part ways. Tang Ruoxue became angry with embarrassment and said, you have no right to say divorce, only I can dismiss you. You think you can get back 2 million, Yi Fan, don't overestimate yourself. She sneered and said, the debts of the Four Seas Chamber of Commerce, you useless person, can't even get them back after 100 years of debt. After speaking, Tang Ruoxue slammed the door and went out. She would never believe that Yi Fan could recover 2 million yuan in debt. But she also had an indescribable feeling in her heart. Because just now when she met Yi Fan, she saw the depth in those eyes. In addition, it also carries an unparalleled confidence. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Misunderstandings. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8 Misunderstandings. Chapter 8 Misunderstandings. The next day, before dawn, Yi Fan got up. He stayed up all night and still felt very energetic. What made him most flustered was that he felt a fire in his stomach, burning its internal organs. Is it the ginseng fruit? Yi Fan quickly made a guess and thought about the change after eating ginseng fruit. Shouldn't it be? Isn't that just a stir-fried fruit? And is this poisoned, or is it effective? Yi Fan doesn't know how to deal with it. He doesn't have the way to eat ginseng fruit in his mind, so he can only run to the roof to practice the Tai Chi Sutra. After exhaling and absorbing his breath, Yi Fan extinguished the fire, and his spirit rose to the next level. What only made him depressed was that there was an additional surging force in his body. This force occasionally surges, making him want to hit someone to vent. He tried hard to suppress his violent thoughts. Then, Yi Fan noticed that there was no movement in the life and death jade. The white side is still dull, but the black side still has 6 black rays. Yi Fan searched his memory once but couldn't find a way to recover it. This shattered Yi Fan's shortcut idea of using only life and death jade to save people. He honestly learns and inherits medical knowledge. To his surprise, the efficiency is 10 times higher than yesterday, and there are many things to understand that can be understood at a glance now. Yi Fan quickly practiced Tai Chi Divine Needle. This acupuncture technique consists of 9 forms, each with 9 variations. It can stop bleeding, detoxify, break evil spirits, and even bring death back to life. It is exceptionally powerful. And the first way is to restore the 9 palaces to Yang. Thinking of the uncertain life and death of Cece, Yi Fan practiced the 9 palaces of Huanyang thoroughly. Continuing with the 8 trigrams to break the Sha, 7-star continuation of life, 6 paths of demon suppression, 5 elements to stabilize blood, 4 symbols to transform poison. After practicing Tai Chi Divine Needle in one breath, Yi Fan saw that there was still some time left, so he practiced several martial arts secret books. Although Yi Fan doesn't like fighting, he has to go collect debts today and learn some martial arts to defend himself. After 3 hours, Yi Fan felt that his whole person had changed a lot again. He also found an extra layer of greasy dirt on his body, sticky and very uncomfortable. He quickly took a shower and found that the scars from the dog's bite had disappeared, and his skin had turned white. Even the strength increased a lot. While taking a shower in the bathroom, I accidentally broke a tile. Ah! As soon as Yi Fan took a shower, he heard Lin Qiuling scream from the gym on the 2nd floor, her voice extremely painful. Yi Fan didn't originally want to go, but when he heard that Lin Qiuling was very sad, and Tang 3 Kingdoms and Tang Ruoxue had gone for a morning run. So he hesitated for a moment and ultimately went upstairs. "Mom, what's wrong?" In view, on the yoga mat in the gym, Lin Qiuling stood barefoot, her hands clasped together and raised high, maintaining her yoga posture. A curvaceous and plump body, wrapped in a black tight-fitting suit. From a tall and proud figure to a slender willow waist, from a smooth back to a raised back, and then from slender legs to bare arches, everyone showcases maturity and curvaceous beauty. Yi Fan had to admit that his mother-in-law's charm still lingers. "Get lost." Seeing Yi Fan appear, Lin Qiuling disdainfully shouted, "You useless person can't help. Hurry up and call Ruoxue and the others." Yi Fan frowned and said, "Dad and Ruoxue went for a run. We'll probably have to wait a while before coming back." "Ah." Before Yi Fan could finish speaking, Lin Qiuling shook her body for a moment before falling towards the floor. Yi Fan rushed forward with one swift step and hugged Lin Qiuling, who was about to fall. "Mom, what's wrong with you?" At the same time, he noticed that Lin Qiuling's posture was strange, with her hands clasped together and raised in mid-air, very stiff. Yi Fan pressed her hands. "Ah." Not touching is okay, but when pressed, Lin Qiuling screamed again. "Pain, pain, pain." Yi Fan felt Lin Qiuling's pain and quickly released his pressing hand. He turned his palm to the jade of life and death, and a message came to his mind. Status. Muscle and meridian dislocation, retrograde qi and blood flow, must be treated promptly, otherwise sprains and fractures will occur. Cause. Excessive practice of yoga leads to insufficient energy repair. Can use Tai Chi hand to pinch bones. Yi Fan asked Lin Qiuling to stand up again and said, "Mom, you've been practicing yoga until you reach the muscles and meridians." Lin Qiuling angrily cursed, "Nonsense, quickly ask your father and Ruoxue to take me to the hospital. Hurry up, it's too uncomfortable, it's too painful." She felt her muscles becoming tighter and her body becoming more and more painful. "It's too late. Mom, I can treat this disease. Just pinch a few bones and it will be cured." Seeing Lin Qiuling's face turning increasingly red, Yi Fan scanned her several acupoints and said, "I happen to watch a similar health program. Get out of here, when is it? Are you still causing trouble for me? You're not even as good at sweeping the floor of my clinic. What kind of illness would you treat?" Lin Qiuling stood up and scolded, "Hurry up and get out of here. Don't cause trouble in front of me. It's annoying to see you." "Mom, it's too late. If you delay any longer, your arm's muscles and veins may break. Yi Fan took a swift step forward and reached out to grab Lin Qiuling's arm. He didn't want to talk to Lin Qiuling in his heart, but thinking that Lin Qiuling was disabled would inevitably make Tang Ruoxue's life difficult, so he had to lend a helping hand. Rogue. Seeing Yi Fan's body full of hot air pressure coming over, Lin Qiuling was shocked and pale. Is this disrespectful to herself? She roared fiercely and took a few steps back. Yi Fan, what are you doing? Beasts. I'm your mother. Law. She instinctively retreated, but Yi Fan had already reached her and touched Lin Qiuling's arm with both hands. Smooth and tender skin. Pop pop. Yi Fan pinched the Yangqi, Tsuqi, and Tianjing acupoints with his fingers, allowing Lin Qiuling's qi and blood to run normally. Then, Yi Fan moved his finger downwards. Pop pop. Fingers landed on the acupoints of Shozhen and Shajing. With a forceful squeeze, there were two crisp sounds, and Lin Qiuling's muscles and veins were smoothly in place. Just as her arms returned to normal, Lin Qiuling still held them high. The initial pain made her nervous system highly tense. She is already afraid of pain. Whoosh. This didn't stump Yi Fan, who slipped his hands and landed on Lin Qiuling's pants. He pretended to pull downwards. Animal. Lin Qiuling let out a roar of anger, her hands suddenly falling down, tightly gripping her pants. In order to practice yoga without any constraints, she didn't even wear underwear and only wore the thinnest pair of tight pants. How can Yi Fan remove it? Whoosh. While Lin Qiuling was pulling down her pants with both hands down, Yi Fan pinched her tai hang in abdominal knots again. Lin Qiuling's body trembled, and the soreness all over her body dissipated instantly. Yi Fan, what are you doing? At this moment, Tang Three Kingdoms and Tang Ruoxue appeared at the door and rushed together to Yi Fan and Lin Qiuling. Pa! Tang Ruoxue pushed Yi Fan away angrily and said, "Do you dare to disrespect my mother?" Tang and Three Kingdoms also had bulging veins. Little beast, in broad daylight, disrespectful mother. Law. I'll kill you. He punched Yi Fan on the shoulder. The two of them had just returned from their morning run when they heard Lin Qiuling shouting and rushed forward. They found Lin Qiuling looking embarrassed and angry, while Yi Fan was pulling on Lin Qiuling's pants, which was not pleasing to the eye. They subconsciously believed that Yi Fan was disrespectful to Lin Qiuling. Yi Fan shook his body for a moment, then withdrew his clenched hands. Lin Qiuling said fiercely, "Quick, fast, call the police and send this bastard to jail." Tang Ruoxue looked disgusted and said, "Yi Fan, you are just a beast." Yi Fan's performance yesterday made Tang Ruoxue feel that he was starting to gain momentum. But she never expected that Yi Fan would be such a pervert. Unscrupulous mother. She is too heartbroken. Yi Fan's face was calm as he looked coldly at Lin Qiuling and said, "Mom, you should give me a clean conscience." Lin Qiuling was taken aback for a moment, then looked at her agile hands and quickly realized that Yi Fan Gang was not disrespectful to herself, but rather treating her illness. She just didn't explain to Tang Sangua and Tang Ruoxue. Innocence. What innocence? She sneered, "What are you doing? Don't you have any points in your mind?" Lin Qiuling always remembers the face she lost at last night's birthday banquet. What explanation do we need for being caught as an indecent mother? Law. Tang Three Kingdoms pointed at Yi Fan and cursed loudly, get out of here. He wants to report to the police, but he is afraid of his family's reputation being exposed. Yi Fan stared at Lin Qiuling and said, "Mom, are you really not returning my innocence?" Pa! A loud slap rang in the face. Tang Ruoxue gritted her teeth and looked at Yi Fan, saying, "Bullying my mother and threatening her to clear your name, are we all dead?" There was a burning pain on Yi Fan's face, and 5 fingerprints appeared on his face. Yi Fan suddenly clenched his fist, but looking at Tang Ruoxue's pale, pretty face, he relaxed again. Feeling the pain on his cheek, Yi Fan chuckled and looked at Lin Qiuling before turning around and leaving the yoga studio. Tang Ruoxue wanted to reprimand a few more words, but she ran into Yi Fan's lost face, and she couldn't say anything at once. The slap just now seemed to have further separated the two of them. Then, she lifted her gaze and saw the camera in the corner. Lin Qiuling likes to record the process of practicing yoga every time. Tang Ruoxue walked over and opened the video replay. Soon, her face changed drastically. "Mom, Yi Fan didn't disrespect you. It was you who got your arm stuck while practicing yoga, and he helped you put it down." Tang Ruoxue placed the camera in front of Tang Sangua and Lin Qiuling. Tang Three Kingdoms looked forward and his old face also changed. He was controlled by anger just now, and now as soon as he watches the video, he immediately discovers a flaw. If Lin Qiuling was really sexually assaulted by Yi Fan, Lin Qiuling would have killed Yi Fan long ago. How could she have casually told him to get out of here? "Yes, I got my hands stuck while practicing yoga, and he helped me solve the problem with his poor medical skills." Lin Qiuling fiercely pushed her husband away and said, "But so what? What obligation do I have to explain to him? Do you want to fight for justice? Do you want to hit me? Come on, kill me, kill your own mother." She looked like a thug and almost rolled on the ground. "You." The Tang Three Kingdoms were so angry that their scalp tingled. It didn't matter if they wronged Yi Fan, but he even punched Yi Fan without reason. What should he do about this? And Lin Qiuling pushed the waves and watched as this happened, but she didn't stop him or explain. "Isn't this unjust to him? How am I? Lin Qiuling roared, "The Tang family raised him for a year, and he made me feel ashamed last night. Can't I still let him suffer?" Tang Three Kingdoms felt like Lin Qiuling had lost all his face, and he wished he could find a crack in the ground to crawl in. Tang Ruoxue had a splitting headache and said, "Mom and Dad, you must apologize to Yi Fan." "Fart, why should I apologize to the white-eyed wolf?" Lin Qiuling remained noncommittal and said, "I apologize to him. Can he afford it? Aren't he afraid of being struck by lightning?" Tang Ruoxue turned around and left the Tang family villa. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Let Me Come. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9 Let Me Come. Chapter 9 Let Me Come. After leaving the villa area, Yi Fan came to the bus stop. Lin Qiuling's actions have made him feel cold, but innocence is not important anymore. As long as he recovers 2 million yuan in debt, he can stay away from the Tang family. However, he did not go straight to the Four Seas Chamber of Commerce, but waited for the bus to the hospital. He couldn't rest assured of Zishi. Ga. Yi Fan waited for less than 5 minutes when a red BMW parked next to him. The car window fell down, revealing Tang Ruoxue's cold and pretty face. "Where are you going?" "Go to the hospital," Yi Fan said faintly. Tang Ruoxue let out a long breath and said, "Get in the car, I'll give you a ride." "No need, we have different paths." Without hesitation, Yi Fan refused, "You should go to work instead." He knew that Tang Ruoxue knew the truth, otherwise he wouldn't have thought of giving himself a ride. He just didn't say he was sorry. How could he lower himself? This year's experience made him realize that unprincipled humility and compromise will only make everyone look down on him. Tang Ruoxue's mouth twitched for a moment, then tried to be calm and said, "I have plenty of time today and can take you to the hospital." She asked, "Are you going to see Zishi?" "That's right. Her condition is unstable and she probably hasn't passed the critical period." "I want to see if I can help," Yi Fan replied in a voice of course, would also like to thank Song Hongyan for her ginseng fruit. After eating the ginseng fruit, Yi Fan felt that his energy and spirit had broken through a lot, at least making him less struggling for 3 or 5 years. "You can't even understand medical books, how can you help?" Tang Ruoxue shook her head disapprovingly, but still spoke coldly, "Get in the car, let's go together." Yi Fan didn't speak, just stared at Tang Ruoxue. As long as she said sorry, he would compromise. Tang Ruoxue shouted forcefully, "Is it all over? Is it interesting to be meticulous, big man?" Yi Fan still didn't speak. "If you can't fall in love, who do you think you are?" Seeing that Yi Fan remained silent, Tang Ruoxue felt a hint of annoyance. She was so amiable. What else would Yi Fan do? She casually threw a paper bag at Yi Fan and then stepped on the gas pedal to leave. Pa! Yi Fan grabs the paper bag and opens it to find a bag of milk and a cage of cha siu bao. His mind was slightly dazed, as if he had returned to the time when he was exposed on the streets, Wu. At 9 o'clock in the morning, Yi Fan arrived at Zhonghai Hospital. He bought a box of silver needles from the traditional Chinese medicine department, inquired about it, and went to the 4th-floor ward. As soon as the elevator door opened, he saw Tang Ruoxue appear carrying a bag of fruits. She walked past Yi Fan as if she were blind. Yi Fan knew that she had a bad temper and was too lazy to pay attention to her. He went straight to the door of Cixi's ward and happened to see Song Hongyan sitting on a bench, lost in thought. Her pretty face was hopeless, and she seemed to have lost more than 10 pounds overnight. Although women may be haggard, they do not lose any of their beauty, with sad eyes that give people a sense of poignant beauty. She was surrounded by a dozen men and women in Chinese clothing, but no one made a sound. The atmosphere is dull. Seeing this, Tang Ruoxue instinctively stopped walking, pondering how to comfort Song Hongyan. "Miss Song." Yi Fan walked straight over and said, "How is Cixi's situation?" Song Hongyan hesitated slightly, looked up, and immediately became excited when she saw Yi Fan. "Benefactor, benefactor, have you come? A woman with a fortune of tens of billions has no heirs at the moment. Just call me Yi Fan." Yi Fan pressed her shoulder and said, "The word benefactor is too heavy to bear. You saved Cixi, you are my benefactor." Song Hongyan's gaze was stubborn. "In the future, wherever you need a beautiful woman, just speak up. I'm sorry for slapping you yesterday." The next second, she raised her hand and was about to slap herself. "Be swift and resolute." Yi Fan quickly grabbed her wrist and said, "Miss Song, I didn't blame you. I can understand you. No matter how guilty you are, wait until Cixi wakes up to pay me back." The wrist he was holding was as soft as bone, and Yi Fan forgot to let go for a moment. "Brother Yi, you are really a good person." Song Hongyan didn't break free either, but let Yi Fan grab her and said, "I will remember you for a lifetime." Seeing Yi Fan holding Song Hongyan's hand, Song Hongyan was so gentle towards Yi Fan. Tang Ruoxue, who walked up, tugged at the corner of her mouth and coughed lightly. Yi Fan reacted and quickly released his grip. Song Hongyan looked up at Tang Ruoxue and smiled gently, "Miss Tang, thank you for organizing everyone's rescue yesterday." Tang Ruoxue whispered back, "Mr. Song, you're welcome." "Miss Song, how is Cixi's situation?" Yi Fan laughed and said, "Have you passed the dangerous period?" "Very pessimistic." Song Hongyan's eyes darkened. "The injury is too serious. I saved several times yesterday, but I haven't passed the critical period yet." Sun Lao also finds it difficult to reverse his condition. Her red lips were slightly bitten, very heart-wrenching, and people still felt pity when they saw her. Yi Fan comforted softly, "Don't worry, Cixi is a lucky person and will definitely be fine." Song Hongyan's eyes suddenly lit up. "Brother Yi, you were able to save Cixi yesterday. Your medical skills must be quite impressive. Can you help me take a look? She is also at a loss." "I'm sorry, Miss Song. Yi Fan doesn't know any medical skills at all. Yesterday was just a stroke of luck." Tang Ruoxue had to truthfully say that although she also hoped that Yi Fan could save the little girl, it was impossible. "Miss Song, she's right. I'm not a doctor." Yi Fan answered honestly, "I have never treated anyone before. Upon hearing these words, Song Hongyan was taken aback for a moment, then her eyes hurt, and her peerless face suddenly filled with a hint of sadness. Although Cece was adopted by her, she raised her for 7 years just like her own daughter. If the white-haired person gave the black-haired person away, Song Hongyan wouldn't want to live anymore. Miss Song, although I haven't studied medicine, I have read a lot of medical books. If you can trust me, I'm willing to give it a try, Yi Fan said with a change of tone. Of course I do, of course I do. Song Hongyan's eyes lit up again. For some reason, she inexplicably trusted Yi Fan. Brother Yi, come with me. Song Hongyan decisively pulled Yi Fan towards the ward. Yi Fan. Tang Ruoxue stared at Yi Fan anxiously and shouted, "Don't act recklessly, you will harm someone." Yi Fan smiled faintly and said, "Don't worry, I can definitely save Cixi." Tang Ruoxue stomped her feet in anger and said, "Where should I put my heart in? If things go wrong, something will happen. Luck doesn't always come to Yi Fan. Are you angry with me? Are you angry that I won't tell you I'm sorry?" Tang Ruoxue suddenly remembered something. "Okay, I'm sorry to tell you now. I was reckless this morning and shouldn't have been falsely accused by my mom. As long as you can take a breath and be more rational, I'll slap you in the face and you can come back anytime." She thought that Yi Fan's intention to treat Cece was to confront her on purpose. Yi Fan spoke softly, "You never believed in me. Not good. The patient's breathing has stopped, hurry up." At this moment, the alarm in the intensive care unit sounded, and then more than 10 doctors rushed over. In addition to experts from the hospital, there are also many traditional Chinese medicine practitioners invited by Song Hongyan for consultation. At the forefront was an elderly man with white hair in his 60s, full of energy and luxurious attire. Zhonghai Divine Doctor, Sun Qingshou. He is the founder of Zhonghai Rejuvenation Hall, with an exceptionally prominent reputation in the field of traditional Chinese medicine. He has been practicing medicine for more than 40 years, with tens of thousands of doctors and countless honors. He devoted half of his life to traditional Chinese medicine, so he is highly welcomed and respected by all parties in China and the world. The patient is in urgent need, he rushed the fastest. Song Hongyan and Yi Fan followed up. I saw that Cece was no longer breathing, and various instruments were sounding alarms, making her heart skip a beat. The attending doctor was nervously administering adrenaline and using a defibrillator to rescue the patient. However, Cixi's situation was really not good and there was almost no response. Cece. Song Hongyan was about to burst into tears. As the electrocardiogram slowly turned into a straight line, the faces of the attending doctor and others all showed a sense of melancholy. I'll do it. At this moment, Sun Qingshou asked a group of doctors to walk away. He picked up 6 silver needles with his fingers and fell them down on Cixi's body with a whoosh. 6 needles for spring recovery. He wanted to gather the last glimmer of vitality from Cixi's body. The 2 rescue attempts last night and in the morning were both initiated by Sun Qingshou. Unfortunately, Cixi didn't react at all this time. Sigh. Sun Qingshou received 6 more shots, but Cixi remained motionless. The old man let out a sigh. Stop it. Heavenly powerless. Seeing Sun Qingshou shake his head, the whole scene was filled with sadness, and Song Hongyan's face turned even paler. Yi Fan looked through the crowd and saw the phantom of Cixi emerging again. He rushed into the hospital room without even thinking, slapping Cixi on the forehead. Let me do it. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Rebirth from the Dead. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10 Rebirth from the Dead. Chapter 10 Rebirth from the Dead. The phantom lay back in Cixi's body. Yi Fan extended his left hand and pressed the life and death jade tightly against Qian Qian's head, not giving her a chance to separate her soul. Gallbladder perforation, liver injury, severe abdominal bleeding. The energy of the life and death stone is insufficient to repair, but it can use the 9 Palace Revival Yang Needle to overcome danger. As Yi Fan was worried yesterday, although a white light can repair the soul, it is not enough to help Cece get through the danger period. Yi Fan can only utilize the medical skills he learned in the morning. Seeing Yi Fan's actions, Sun Qingshu was furious with Yi Fan. Who is this bastard? What are you doing to Cece? Don't you know that Cece is dead? What are you doing with her body? It's already heartbreaking and regrettable to die at such a young age, but as a result, Yi Fan still fights the body back and forth, which is simply inhumane. Sun Qingshu angrily approached and pulled Yi Fan. At this critical moment, Yi Fan couldn't possibly stop his hand. With a tremble in his arm, he directly threw Sun Qing's hand, which was being pulled and pulled. Sun Qingshu stumbled backwards and almost fell to the ground. Yi Fan took out the newly purchased silver needle from his arms again. The first move of the Tai Chi Divine Needle is the 9 Palaces returning yang. Yi Fan silently recited the acupoints of Bai Hui, Feng Qi, and Tian Shu, and then slowly inserted the disinfected silver needle into them. On each silver needle, there was a faint white light that flashed away and penetrated into Cixe's body. And with the pulse path of Yi Fan's injection, 9 palace grids appeared on Qian Qian's body. The palace grid continued to spread and connected into a piece with the needle technique. Cixe's pale body instantly added a layer of redness. That feeling is like the sun dispelling the darkness. Sun Qingshu was about to pounce and push Yi Fan away, but when he saw this scene, he suddenly stopped. A face full of shock. Even if the patients are dead, are you still using acupuncture to treat them? Do you consider yourself a fairy? Dare to push and push Dr. Sun, drag him out, drag him out. The medical staff's view was blocked by Sun Qingshu and Yi Fan, and they did not see a magical scene, so they shouted and killed Yi Fan one after another. Yi Fan! Do you know what you're doing? Tang Ruoxue, who squeezed in from the door, also looked anxious and said, "Come out quickly. You're not a doctor, don't delay the doctor's rescue." She really doesn't know which nerve is going wrong with Yi Fan. It's ridiculous for a family cook to run to save people. Moreover, this is Song Hongyan's daughter. Once she loses her rationality to vent her anger, Yi Fan's 10 lives will not be enough to compensate. It seems that a misunderstanding in the morning caused Yi Fan to lose his sanity. This man is always searching for life and death with just a little thing, why can't he be more mature? A dozen or so medical staff rolled up their sleeves and rushed over. "Miss Song, block them." Yi Fan shouted at Song Hongyan, "Give me 5 minutes, I'll give you a Cishi. Anyway, they're all dead. Is there a worse ending?" Song Hongyan was originally heartbroken, but was awakened by Yi Fan's roar. Before, she wouldn't have believed that her daughter could still be saved, but yesterday's on-site treatment gave her hope. Yi Fan has miracles. Let the Yi brothers save people. Song Hongyan's sad and pretty face instantly turned cold, and she blocked the way for the medical staff to shout. "If you can't save it, let Brother Yi come and treat it." Although Song Hongyan is a woman in her 20s, her imposing aura is particularly strong. A group of medical staff suddenly stopped. "Mr. Song, could you be more rational?" A doctor shouted, "Your daughter has already gone, so don't let anyone bother you anymore. Let her go with peace of mind." Another female nurse also felt heartbroken and said, "No, we must report it to the police. Let the police catch this bastard. Many of them are parents, and they really can't bear to see Yi Fan mistreating Cece like this." The medical staff took a few steps back and blocked the door to prevent Yi Fan from causing trouble and escaping. Tang Ruoxue also looked at Song Hongyan and said, "Mr. Song, Yi Fan is my husband. He really doesn't know medical skills. Don't let him act recklessly." "I believe in him," said Song Hongyan with a hot face, "Mr. Song." Tang Ruoxue was so blocked that she couldn't speak. How could Song Hongyan be so ignorant? She couldn't understand how Yi Fan, who was recognized as a waste by the Tang family, could be so trusted by Song Hongyan. This made her feel ridiculous, but she also felt a little uncomfortable in her heart. My husband is valued so much by other women, or is she as stunning as Song Hongyan? The patients and their families who gathered at the doorstep also cursed Yi Fan with bloodshed. If a person dies, let her go with peace of mind. Tossing around the body will not allow the dead to rest in peace. As for saving people, that's just a joke. Even if my heart stops beating, how could I possibly come back to life? No one believed Yi Fan, and everyone loudly called the police to arrest him, preferably by shooting him directly. Sun Qingshou didn't shout anymore, just stared at Yi Fan's silver needle. 9 palaces returning to Yang. He completely recognized it and was extremely excited. Is it really the 9 palaces returning Yang? He remembered that this was a magical needle technique that had been lost for a long time. It was the first form of the Tai Chi divine needle, which had the effect of reviving people at the gates of hell. As long as the patient still has one breath, it can lift it up and keep them alive. Sun Qingshou did not expect the acupuncture techniques mentioned in ancient medical books to appear in front of him. Heaven has eyes, heaven has eyes. He trembled and took out his phone to take a picture. Just as the security guard with big arms and round waist rushed in, a crisp instrument sound came, making the ward unable to stop for a moment. Immediately after, there was a sound of beeping. Song Hongyan looked up and immediately became stunned. The doctors at the front were even more stuttering and fearful. There are undulations on a straight instrument. The heartbeat, pulse, and breathing are restored simultaneously. At the beginning, it was very slow, reaching a frequency of 10 times per minute in less than 5 seconds. Although still dangerous compared to normal people, it represents a possibility. Cece, you're really alive. The eyes of everyone in the room were straight. The patient who had already been rescued but failed, has now regained his heartbeat. I've seen a ghost. How could it be? How can a person who has lost all their brainwaves still recover their heartbeat? How did this actually happen? Ding ding ding. Just whether they believe it or not, Cece's heart gradually recovered. 10 times. 20 times. 30 times. 60 times. Reaching normal human frequency range. Live. Sun Qingshou knelt down with a thud. It was truly the 9 palaces returning to the sun. Cece has come back to life, take over the treatment quickly. Yi Fan roared, help me quickly. The first time a needle is administered to save a person, there are many things that need to be pinched, which consumes a lot of energy. Sun Qingshou and several others were awakened by his roar, and without saying a word, quickly approached to treat Cece. All faces were filled with complete astonishment. Many doctors couldn't help but look at Yi Fan while examining. This kid is so amazing, he really saved the dead. Tang Ruoxue also had a surprised expression on her face, looking at Yi Fan with a calm expression and feeling a bit dazed for a moment. Is this still the soft rice king in my memory? End of this chapter.